friends, today on At Laura's Table, we're going to make an easy weeknight meal that I like to call the new Mississippi pot roast. We use 1 seasoning blend and 1 jar of pepperoncini peppers without artificial dyes. Let's get started. I'm going to show you how I liberally season the chuck roast, and then we'll add whole pepperoncini peppers when we get to the crock pot. Okay friends, so I wanted to show you how I liberally season this chuck roast so that you get my definition of liberally. We're making up for all the different packets that are filled with various chemicals, because as this meat breaks down, these seasonings are going to penetrate this meat and go into our au jus at the end. When we flip this meat into this hot pan, we're going to do this to the other side of this meat. And after 10 hours or so in our crock pot, we're going to have a wonderfully flavorful meat that we can use in French dip sandwiches or as a traditional roast beef with mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes. Okay friends, we're going to put the seasoned side of this chuck roast down, and then we're going to season the other side. And I'm browning my chuck roast because it's a layer of flavor that I would lose if I didn't take the time to do that. You're welcome to not season your roast, but it just adds so much flavor that I hate to miss out on that. It's free, it just takes a few more minutes. So liberally season the other side of your roast. I'm going to put in the recipes section of my blog when I post this recipe how you can make your own seasoning blend as well. But here I'm using McCormick's Montreal Steak Seasoning. It's a great seasoning blend for this. Okay, let's give this a flip. Now some of our seasoning's stuck on the other side. That's another reason we're going to deglaze the pan when we're done, so that we can get all the yummy goodness off of our pan and get it into our crock pot with our meat and our peppers. Alright, so I removed my meat from the pan, and I was working on deglazing the pan. Apparently my little baby dog has joined us. See how lovely this will be? Make a wonderful au jus dipping sauce when our meat is finished. So if you brown your chuck roast, pour your au jus in over your meat. If your pan's heavy like mine, you might need a little help getting all your seasonings in there, because I can't hold it up with one arm. Your last step is adding your peppers. Now pour them in. We use whole peppers because then the family members that don't want to eat peppers with their meat can do without peppers, and the family members that want peppers can eat peppers. So in my household of 4, that's 2 and 2. That's all. We'll see you in 10 hours. This is 10 hours on low. Okay, I'm going to show you how to finish the new Mississippi pot roast. First, I fish out all the peppers for the pepper lovers in your family. Some of the stems will fall off, so you need to get those too. Save these on the side. Next, you want to remove your meat to a separate plate. And it's going to come apart. And we're going to shred it and remove as much of this leftover fat as we can, because we don't want to eat that. And then I'm going to show you how I use my fat separator for my au jus so that I can remove even more fat from our dipping sauce, or au jus as we've been talking about. See how simple that was? A little piece of fat. I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing here. I have this OXO fat separator. And I use oven mitts to remove the liner from my crock pot. Sometimes it's so much that I have to do this in stages. I want you to be able to see this. So hang on just one second. Okay, so this is my fat separator. I'm gonna pour the good au jus dipping sauce into this mason jar, a ball, and see how the fat stays in. All right, see all those yummy spices floating around in there. Okay, I'm gonna finish pouring the juice from our meat into my separator here. Perfect. All right, we can set that aside. Now we need to shred our meat. And make sure that we pull any of the fat that we find out and put that in the garbage, because we don't want to eat it. This is why I didn't care for the original recipes that I was seeing online for Mississippi pot roast. I thought a chuck roast had plenty of natural fat and didn't need a stick of butter. And I didn't want to feed my family a bunch of chemicals. So I was like, how can we build a bunch of flavor without all of that? And this recipe that I'm sharing with you today has turned out to be quite a hit with our small group, my kids, and anyone. Okay, so I'm just going to shred the meat and pick out any large pieces of fat that we find, like this. Chuck roast naturally has quite a bit of fat, which is why when I saw the original recipe for Mississippi pot roast, it was not something I really wanted to attempt. Didn't think chuck roast needed a stick of butter. So, and I didn't want to put all those extra chemicals in as well. So, but I did want something really flavorful. We like high impact food around our house, and this has been a huge hit with our small group and our family. So I hope you enjoy. I'll show you how we serve it in just a minute. Okay, let's finish our sandwich. I like to take a little of the pot roast, a few peppers, and I'm going to do this over the sink so I don't make a mess. Stir the au jus. It's always better if you dip it. Delicious.